Okay. All right, Queen. Thank you. Okay. Okay. No problem.
I'm sorry, Princess.
We also want to help. My daughter too. She feels it. What's up, girl? What? Hey, Queen. Okay. Is you guys part of the Missing Come Home group? Join Missing Please Come Home. I need you. And you, girl, because you ain't about none. You about that life. We need what? I need some people to square up because, I'm 50 now. I got to have guns and mace and all. Right.
Me too. You was good.
Right.
I didn't know you was that damn. I didn't know you was 50.
Yeah, girl.
Man, well, I'm only 29.
What? Go on, make it do what it do.
Shut up. I ain't talking about you.
Make sure y'all join the group Missing Please Come Home. I'm going to be looking for you. Let me know that, because you got to send me that information anyway. Come on, y'all. Hey, John, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. All right, Queen. Missing Please Come Home. Sex trafficking. Sex trafficking. And the cat's out. The cat's out.
Oh, well, let me know when I see you at the shop.
Okay.
I didn't know you had no group out.
Yeah.
Let me see. 79 Blossom Hills.
Where you going?
I'm gonna go home.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on 80th and Ash.
Well, you make sure you connect with me. Please do. Connect with me.
I hear about this is on the news. I'm trying to see.
Hey, brother.
What's happening?
What's happening? You want to know what's happening now?
Yeah.
Tell them.
Oh, the protest. We was doing the protest
It's
about
over?
the truth.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. It's been over with.
Oh, okay.
You were coming out here?
Having fun.
You were coming for the protest?
Yeah. I just coming out of church.
Amen.
Yeah.
Give us a scripture.
Romans 8:28. All things work together for the good
Of those who love the Lord,
those who call according
to his purpose.
I think they need to use that body cam video as training. He wasn't robbing nobody. He was the suspect for robbing. Someone just said maybe he had a gun. So the way they approached him was foul.
Well, I got a gun.
So do I.
And I got a conceal and carry.
So do I. So rather than snatch and grab him, how about talking to him? Talking to him.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Search him. It was four of them. The four of them could have grabbed him and saved his life. But when you snatch, that wasn't a professional move for that officer to just snatch his shirt. And to spook him like that.
Spook him. And then shot him like that.
Shot him like that.
Killed him like
they
that.
had enough officers there to all grab him. If you grab his hand, what can you do?
Or hit him with them batons.
And then even the way they snatched his little shirt. Sir, can we talk to you for a minute, sir?
Yeah.
Now we understand you have a gun. Do you have proper?
And let me tell you what else they could have did.
They could have started off by talking to you. Do you have proper license?
They could have tased the man.
They could have tased him.
You're right. Yeah.
They could have tased him.
You know what? I said
if he was white,
we got tased one day.
White.
And you got to have a conceal and carry. But they could have tased him. Now, that was not me that showed the conceal. That was not me that had the taser. I don't know who that was that had the taser. But that was not. Get your hand out my pocket.
God bless y'all. Listen, what y'all, what church?
Well, I am a member of the Cats Out Foundation, Kingdom All Time Seekers. Okay, and I'm Vera Giles Norris.
My name is Toya.
And my pastor is Pastor Smokey Norfolk. Now, he probably would be like, don't say my name out there, Vera.
Where is this church?
At Victory Cathedral. And yes, he does. He's in Bolingbrook. Yes. Yes.
Nice talking to you.
But no problem. Have a great one.
Is there going to be another?
Tomorrow. Are you on Facebook or any social media platform? You know what? Let me give you my number, brother.
Okay, sister.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all moving too fast now.
Come back right here, girl. Do me a favor if y'all doing something. Let me know.
Okay.
I'll see you at the shop, please.
Okay, I'm going to let you know, sister.
This is 708. I'm moving right here.
743.
743.
6970.
6970. What's your sister?
Vera. Vera.
S-R-S-T-E-R.
Yeah. Norris, Norris. Vera Giles Norris. Norris. Yes, sir. Minister David, what I need you. I need some. You gonna call me right now? Okay.
Let me know next time they're doing something for this gentleman.
Okay. So, minister, you just dialed my number. That was just you. 559. Okay. I got you. Okay. I'm gonna be connect. Yes. No problem, brother. Text me, let me know what's going on. All right. All right. Have a great one. All right, you guys. Be careful. Step this way. So you guys, everything is over? Iris, I just love you right back. What's going on, Laverne? Thanks for your support, sister. I got a plaque made just for you. Those first 100 people that are ordering their shirts. Because guess what? Anybody can't represent a No Cats Out shirt. And we do have the Cats Out shirt. For those of you all that don't want the all-seeing eye, the religious symbol, we do have it without that symbol. Black stretch marks. He's a troll. He's on my...
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up!
Lock him up! Lock him up! Furthermore, lock him up.
Republican leadership in Congress who have ignored, he will not turn over his tax forms. They have attacked the Mueller investigation. They have been moving voter suppression tactics to block people from voting.
Can you read that one? This veteran is embarrassed and ashamed and will resist. Looks like a Vietnam veteran to me.
Paying attention to Putin and Russia. And they want to keep that money secret, and who is behind it? They've passed tax packages that benefit the wealthy and corporations at the expense of the people. Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out! Our environmental laws, our consumer protection laws, they are running roughshod and benefiting the corporate wealthy who are getting some return for their giving. Vote blue! Vote blue!
Vote blue!
Charcoal drawing.
Vote blue! Vote blue!
Putin's got Trump in his hand. Treason with 45 in the center. 86-45.
We have to hold state legislators, members of Congress, the Supreme Court accountable to us, the people. So it is important. These reforms are coming from the bottom up. There are reforms passing at the state and local level that are taking on gerrymandering, putting in place voting reforms that allow more people to have their voices heard. And so we need to remember, this isn't just about Election Day on 2018 or 2020. It is about all of us getting involved every single day. We the people have the power. We the people have the power. We the people have the power. We will prevail.
right, we got an interview. This is Casey. Hey, where are you from?
It's hard to hear, so.
Where are you from?
I'm from Salt Lake City.
Did you come here from Salt Lake? Okay.
I'm from Salt Lake City, but I live here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me just. What made you decide to be out here tonight?
I'm out here tonight because our democracy is in shambles. I mean, it's a tragedy. The top-ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee said that it's possible that the Russians deleted people off of our voting rolls, and I don't imagine that he's making that up. I imagine that's coming from the information that he has as one of the most educated people in this country on what's going on politically.
Back in 2016 or coming up?
In 2016, but it's possible that it will happen again. And that's what every knowledgeable politician has said about this situation, is that it's very likely that it will happen again this fall.
That's disturbing. Now, I'm noticing kind of a theme in the speeches. They're focusing on all of the different things that have been done to warp the electoral process so that the will of the people is not reflected. Voter suppression, gerrymandering, flooding the process with foreign and corporate money, and now this apparent, I shouldn't even say apparent anymore, but this attack from a foreign adversary.
From inside our country. Yeah, this attack from inside our country.
Well, that is still being investigated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if the attack isn't happening inside of the White House, the attack is happening inside of our country. The attack is happening on Facebook, on Reddit, on Twitter. The attack is happening where you don't think it's happening. It's not happening somewhere across the sea in Russia. They're posting on our social media, that is dominated by people in the United States who speak English, who voted for the President of the United States. That's who they're attacking.
Yeah, I definitely have encountered them at the Young Turks. They definitely tried to influence our coverage in 2016. I don't sense it as much now as I did 2 years ago. But I mean, what's your feeling about the recent back and forth that the president has gone through about whether he has concern about this, about whether he believes that this happened once and that it's ongoing?
Whether you're saying that he wasn't concerned about it? Can you read?
Well, yeah, just today, I don't know if you heard, but today he was asked if he believes that the Russian military intelligence is trying to attack us even today, and he said no.
Yeah, I had no idea. It's so dangerous, and I think it's important for all of us to be skeptical of the information coming from any intelligence in this country in general. I don't think anyone is without bias, but it's very dangerous for us to be writing off information from trusted sources within our own country when there is no reason to write it off. Everyone who has seen the information says that this is happening. This is happening. There's no reason to believe that it's not happening.
On what are you basing the notion that Americans collaborated with this conspiracy? Is it just the worst thing you can think of to say about the people you don't agree with?
I don't think that Americans collaborated with this conspiracy, at the very least not knowingly. These people are on Facebook, they're talking to people on Reddit, they're talking to people on Twitter, and influencing the way that people in this country think.
Okay, you're just worried about the bots.
What do you mean the box?
The robots. You're worried about...
No. There are robots that influence voting on Reddit and spread information on Twitter. There are bots that amplify the messages that are being sent from people from Russia.
Okay, you're worried about the troll farms.
I guess you could call them troll farms. I'm worried about the people who... No. Hey, listen, I can cover it. I am talking to him. You're not in the interview.
I'll get you next, guy. I'll get you next.
Thank you. Okay, so... you can call them whatever you want to call them, but there are people sitting at desks in Russia who are talking to us via our social media sites. That's something that has been verified by our intelligence agencies. There's no reason to think that's not true.
It just seems to me that most of the concern that the FBI would have has to do with stolen documents,
yes,
and then having them fed out through these imposter organizations like DC Leaks or
Like Guccifer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just interested. I mean, I personally suffered because of all those robots and trolls in 2016. It was hell to be creating political content and reporting on the campaign in 2016. So I'm not arguing with you. That's a problem too. It's just most people are more focused on the hacking and the leaking.
I mean, it's all a problem. It's all a problem, but it's all in the effort to do the same thing, which is to divide us and keep us from voting. It's to divide us and throw our election. So it doesn't matter if it's the information leaked by Guccifer to WikiLeaks. It doesn't matter if it's the conversations that we're having online. It's all being done in an effort to trivialize our electoral process, which is the most important thing in this country. It's the only thing that keeps us afloat as a democracy. It's so important.
I mean, for the last 10 years or so, I've been covering right-wing movements that they acknowledge that democracy is fine and good as long as we win. And if we can't win in a democratic process, then some other form of government is preferred. What would you say to someone who values white privilege, who values the benefit of having white rule in this country so much that they would trade our democracy for another form of government through through voter suppression, through gerrymandering, through foreign interference, through Citizens United? Basically, they're concerned about their own kind, their own tribe, and they don't see that there's a greater common good that they share.
I mean, what I would say to that is the same thing that the top-ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee said, which is that this can happen to any party in this country. It has happened to several parties outside of the United States, both left-leaning and right-leaning. The goal is to divide and trivialize democracy. The goal is not for the right to win. They don't care who wins. They just care that we're fighting ourselves and not them.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the information in the new indictment and complaint against Maria Butia.
Yes.
But
I mean, NRA, yeah.
Yes, I mean, not just the NRA, but also these far-right Christian groups. And she pretty much spelled it out a month before Trump announced that the Russians want to take side with the Republicans based on a common anti-gay, anti-abortion, and anti-Muslim sentiment. So, I mean, I think that the people who really don't, they have an invisible white in front of America when they think of America, they won't feel welcome or they won't feel comfortable in this country when it becomes a multiracial democracy. I think those people feel that this deal that some of the political operatives seem to have made is necessary to hold on to power.
I mean, this is a multiracial democracy, no matter which way you slice it. Just census-based, we're going to be a multiracial democracy into the future. But the thing to me is still the fact that our democratic process is at stake, regardless of what you want or what you believe in.
But I'm just saying the people you need to win over are not the ones that are here. They're people who say the democratic process is only worth it, is only of value to me if my side wins.
But I'm saying that they value America and the history of this country, of anyone, right? That's a big part of their platform, is the importance of America and the history of this country.
I'm sorry, but my experience is what they mean is white America when they say patriotism.
I don't think that's untrue. I think they have their own vision of America, and we have our own vision. I think everyone has their own personal vision of America, but the important part is to remember that it doesn't matter what your vision of America is in jeopardy. And America is in jeopardy because our voting processes are in jeopardy, and it could be the Democrats next time that are helped by Russia.
No, I don't think so, but this is the thing, is that when you...
But that's what the top-ranking Democrat in the Senate Intelligence, that's what operatives in the government, that's what they believe, because it's true, because that's what keeps us alive as a country.
It could be. But I mean, I remember when I was covering Trump in 2016, that the feeling of his supporters was what's going to make us lose America are things like political correctness, things like diversity, immigrants who are non-white coming to this country, and they see Trump trying to reverse that, and he is, changing immigration law to try to reverse that, and so his approval rating right now among Republicans is higher than any president at this time in their presidency, other than George W. Bush.
Really?
Yeah, except for that, at this time in his presidency, we had 9/11, so there was a
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Of all modern presidents, or just like
Since polling.
Since what?
Since polling began.
Since polling began. Okay.
So I'm just saying, you're from Utah. Maybe you have a way of. I mean, I covered the campaign in Utah, and I found conservatives there to be very reasonable and civil people. I mean,
Utah is reasonable because Utah voted for McMullen. If you look at the numbers, Utah didn't vote for Trump at all. We're the only state in the union that didn't vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. There's a split in our vote that's noteworthy in Utah over anywhere else.
I thought Trump got more than McMullen.
I'm not sure if he got more, but he definitely got a smaller percentage.
McMullen took a lot from Trump, yeah. So exactly. So that's the thing. Is like, can you crystallize it for a person who, whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, they have anxiety about our changing country, our changing demographics, and the idea of sharing political power with people who aren't white. How could what would you say to make them less afraid of that?
I would say that every single person is a person. It doesn't matter who they are or where they're from. They have family and friends and people that they love and goals. They're working just as hard as you are. We're all working as hard as we can within our ability, within our social status, within our immigration status. I have no doubt that every single person in this country is working their ass off. And I think that's a reason why they should be willing to not take sides, to understand the importance of democracy in this country.
All right, thank you very much for your time. Do you want to give your Twitter or anything?
I have an Instagram. It's the Quacktivist, queer activist. It's a duck pun, Q-U-A-C-K, and then activist. No. Anyway.
No, you got to spell it or they'll never find it.
Quacktivist, Q-U-A-C-K-T-I-V-I-S-T.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now! What do we want? Democracy! Now! What do we want? Democracy! Now! Remember all that we love that is at stake. We still hold and want to protect the rights we dreamed of that are being trampled on. The cost of corruption, from mass incarceration and private prisons to crush small businesses and foreclose upon homes. Corruption hurts real people every day.
I like your jersey.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. All right.
When did you pick that up?
About a month ago. Ordered it. Yeah.
I need to get one.
There you go.
Trump equals mob. Trumpster fire.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm a little tangled in you. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you. So this is the third night in a row at Lafayette Square, across the street from the White House. Actually, we're in the street. We're on Pennsylvania Avenue right now. It has looked like this.
All right, let's get out there with some energy. Let's sing this together. If you know it, it's called You Shall Not Be Moved. If you don't know it, you can pick it up real fast. All right. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Trump is not above the law. We shall not be moved. Trump is not above the law. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. One more time. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Of course, at the very end, I find a good singer. I was panning by some pretty off key. And at the last line, I find
Just have her do it again.
Our streets! 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 Whose house? Our house! 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 Our house! Our house! Our house! This is what democracy looks like.
Do you want to do
This is what democracy looks like.
I'm live on Facebook right now for the Young Turks.
From
The Young Turks?
the Turks.
The Young Turks. You don't know what it is?
The Young Turks.
Young Turks?
Okay, I could be interviewed.
Okay. So you have a sign that sort of synthesizes what I expected this rally to be and what it... Your sign synthesizes what I expected the rally to be and what the rally turned out to be. Can you hold it up?
I think this is what I wanted to focus on. You know, there's a lot of issues to focus on, so I really think that Trump has done some horrible things lately. There's been a lot of issues.
I'm sorry, hold on 1 second.
There's so many issues in so many ways that I think Trump has behaved in ways that really call for impeachment, and it's hard to keep up with the issues. I felt that I don't want to lose sight of the fact that there's a Supreme Court nomination that's happening now, and there's just so many, because of the summit in Helsinki, that seems like the latest thing and the latest outrage, but there are so many outrages all the time, and I think we're here to protest all of them. So I didn't want to lose sight of the Supreme Court nomination.
Can you read your sign? Because I don't think they can see it.
My sign says no confirmation until after impeachment.
Okay, so it's interesting because I saw another sign that said Kavanaugh is the new Garland.
Pardon?
Kavanaugh is the new Garland. It took me a second to figure that out.
Right, yes.
Okay, do you want to try to explain what that sign is?
What that means is, you know, I guess that McConnell had decided that for some ridiculous reason, which actually made no sense at the time, that with 8 months to go in Obama's very legitimate presidency, he would not allow
Merrick Garland.
And he would not allow Merrick Garland to nomination to come to a vote. There was really no basis for that now. Now it's actually a different situation because Trump is under investigation. He's really there's a lot to question about the legitimacy of his presidency. There's what we've been finding out about recently puts it into even greater question with Mueller's latest indictments. And he's nominated someone who's on the record
in saying that presidents should not have to undergo an investigation. In other words, he nominated someone who would look out for his best interests. So I think that what was done to Merrick Garland was actually unconscionable, but there is very good reason not to allow Trump to nominate a Supreme Court justice who would be looking out for Trump's best interests.
Okay, so if it was another conservative justice that was a threat to Roe v. Wade, you wouldn't be out here?
I would also have a problem with that because I do think that what was done, I think that until now, the court has not been so, until what happened to Merrick Garland, the court was not so politicized. I think that what McConnell did was really terrible. But, so I probably would have other objections to another conservative Supreme Court justice. I wouldn't be happy, but I might accept that another Supreme Court justice would go through in another circumstance. With what's happened in the last week, though, with the illegitimate, new questions about the illegitimacy of Trump's presidency, I really don't think that this is the right time for us to allow a Trump nomination to go through.
Well, what if somebody put at the bottom of your sign, so after no confirmation until after impeachment, no confirmation until after impeachment or other resolution of the Mueller investigation unimpeded?
Yes, it was just, I didn't want to get that many words on the sign. I wanted it to be readable. So, and I'm not a great artist. So I was just trying to do this quickly and not have too many words for people to read.
No, I'm just joking. That's a terrible sign. Your sign is much better.
Sign. So this was a little more catchy. My daughter tells me that things have to be more catchy nowadays. So if there would be some other resolution, if we could prove somehow that I'm mistaken and Trump had nothing to do, there actually was no collusion as he constantly claims, but which I don't believe, then I would be very happy and I would believe in his presidency. But I think that there are too many things that are suspicious, and I do believe that there has been serious collusion either by Trump or his very close associates.
Well, also don't forget Trump is under threat of legal action or indictment for many things, sexual harassment, money laundering, perhaps tax evasion, perhaps. So the justice he chose, I agree with you, because there were a lot of people on that Federalist Society list that would have overturned Roe v. Wade or would have protected corporate interests or suppressed people's right to vote. But this guy was the one who, it's interesting because he was part of the Ken Starr investigation that was going after Clinton. Started with a Whitewater real estate thing and ended up being about an extramarital affair. And they did impeach. And this guy, Kavanaugh, made the argument that let's impeach him no matter what it is. He in fact said we'll impeach him even if he didn't lie under oath, but he just lied to the American people. Can you imagine that argument today? If one lied to the American people is okay. So, but it's interesting because he thought about it later, okay? And it didn't work out quite as well as the Republicans hoped. They didn't remove the president. It didn't damage him quite so much as they hoped. They ended up losing a midterm in the wake of the impeachment attempt, or impeachment and the acquittal. For whatever reason, he writes these essays, these legal essays during the Obama administration, saying maybe I was wrong. In between he worked in the George W. Bush administration. Maybe I was wrong. I mean, does it give you some hope that maybe Trump is wrong, that this guy isn't going to help him evade justice because this is someone who's capable of rethinking something that, he first approached as a partisan and then later as a jurist?
There have been histories of other justices who, once they came on the court, they sort of moderated their views. So, but I think that we can't have those kind of false hopes. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot in this period of time where a lot of people on the left are having, have sort of like, they pin false hopes on people and they want to believe all sorts of things. I think, every time Senator Flake speaks up, they think, maybe now he'll vote differently, but then we don't see them voting differently. I think all we can go by is someone's record, and the fact that, every so often somebody changes their tune, maybe that happens, but I don't think that Justice Alito has changed his opinions because he's on the court, and I don't think we should assume that if there were a Justice Kavanaugh that he would moderate his opinions or change his mind yet again.
All right, anything else you want to add?
No.
You got a Twitter handle you want to shout out?
No.
You want to tell us your name?
My name is Miriam.
Where are you from?
I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Right on, I've been there.
Okay.
Thanks for your time, Miriam.
Now, he's not going to do that. Because he's
Seems like they kind of have an open mic thing going. I'm not sure. There were several senators and other there were representatives and senators who spoke. Richard Blumenthal. I saw Sheldon Whitehouse give an interview. He probably had spoken right before I got here. Was it Michael Sarbanes? Congressman Nadler, I think, was here. And then there are also community leaders and nonprofit leaders who've been speaking.
And again, I'm sorry that I'm all over the board, but I think it's important.
I'm here a little bit.
Because he is screwed up all over the board. There's not a single part of our society or policy that you can't pick that he hasn't screwed up. So everyone should feel, if you want his tax returns, chant for his tax returns. You want him to go to jail? Yeah. If you want Sarah Sanders 86 or 8645, every reason people are out here are the right reason. I want to. What the people want here in front of us is very important because they, again, were about accountability. And if you look what's happening in Congress now, the shit part of it is that the Republicans suck. Yep. The Republicans will do nothing. The Republicans just don't like having to answer for him. They don't care. They hide. They hide. All of them. Mitch McConnell. But the Democrats are trying. It's hard. It's near impossible. But one of the things they want to do is they want to press for his tax returns. They want to, and these are things that had we seen 2 years ago, we might have seen why he's so beholden to Russia. If we had had a real medical records 2 years ago, we would know why he's so fucking out of his mind. But the accountability issue is very important. I want to call up someone who's really accountable. His name is Walter Shell.
Trump sucks, Putin!
Ew, that's gross.
Senator and Congressman that spoke earlier that we like, and Richard Blumenthal and Sheldon Whitehouse both spoke.
If you don't read it.
Do you have to read everything to know that it's fake news? Do you read MSNBC every day?
I don't read it every day, but I definitely read it often enough to characterize them.
Okay, as fake news? Yeah,
wow.
Fake news.
Better than fake news.
I gotta see what a Breitbart journalist says.
It'll melt your camera.
Maybe you could try to convince her to get a real job.
I mean,
Have a lovely evening.
Well, if you guys are changing that we're fake news, I feel like as a somebody from your... Hi.
I mean, I don't necessarily need to talk to you, but I'm from the Young Turks.
Oh, hi, Young Turks. How are you?
My name's Eric.
Are you having a great evening?
Yeah, it's nice out. It's nice out. I'm sorry if you've been suffering some abuse.
Huh?
I'm sorry if you've been abused.
Oh, it's not that we don't get that all the time.
I think fake news is an ugly term and it's unfair.
Well, thank you.
General.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't read your website, but you're free of the Steve Bannon thing now, right?
Correct.
Did they like instruct you to try to present your work as journalistic?
I'm not here to talk about my organization. I'm just here to cover the event. But if you'd like to talk about Young Turks, we can do an interview. Are you being instructed to cover this event in any sort of way?
Yeah, they break my balls over journalistic integrity.
Yeah?
Yesterday I was editing a video where it shows a member of Congress named Adderholt, who our investigative reporters have found has been sent into Europe, especially in the area between Russia and the West, several times by a Christian organization, the Family or the Foundation, something like that. And he has strong ties also to this Maria Batia who was arrested. And so I had done, basically, in 2 minutes you're trying to edit the video so there's enough time to read everything. And so I had done this fade where you can still see this Congressman Edelhart's face when the complaint comes up. that ultimately led to an indictment of Maria Butia. And my editor, his name is Jonathan Larson, made me, after hours, redo the video so there was no fade. There was a hard cut between this guy Adderholt's travel disclosures and the criminal indictment, or the criminal complaint that became an indictment. So as far as TYT investigates, which is where I report, there's a lot of effort to maintain journalistic integrity out of respect for the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Well, thank you.
I'm just wondering if that's your instruction, though, or
I'm not here to talk about what I do,
okay.
but you guys have a really great killer YouTube game, so keep it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck to you as well.
One person interviewing another person.
That was Breitbart and TYT.
Well, you're Turkish?
No, TYT is founded by a person of Turkish American ancestry, so it's also a term that means anti-establishment.
Where does your stuff go?
Oh, just Google the Young Turks. It's like everywhere. You'll find it. Yeah, the Young Turks.
But
Are one of y'all able to do an interview?
They do 12 hours of programming every day out of the LA studio.
I used to be in broadcasts many moons ago down here, and that's when when I started, we had a camera, and then the sound guy had a deck, and we put tape in it, and he carried the camera with a hose to the cameraman, and the cameraman turned the deck, the tape on and off by hitting his button in his, he just had an on-off thing.
Yeah, those are different days. Right now Facebook is transmitting this to people probably all over the world.
Like we were down a year or so ago, and do you have to get this?
Well, yeah, I should probably go, but did you come out for the protest or you just happened by?
Did I come back for...
Did you come out for this protest or did you happen by? You did?
No, we came down here for this. We missed the one yesterday. Were you here for the one yesterday?
No, I heard... I was planning to be here before the Helsinki craziness, so... but no, I did hear about the last 2 nights people were out here.
Rig.
Oh, thanks, yeah. Nice to meet you.
Here we go. First off, before we say it, I want to say, Donald Trump...
I think the answer would have been no if she had answered... if she had answered honestly about whether Breitbart instructs them to approach their work from a journalistic, with an effort to have journalistic integrity. This music. Okay, I'm just gonna get you a couple last shots and head home. Thanks for tuning in. Eric Byler for the Young Turks. Secret Service still here.
There's nothing that you can do going forward that will not surprise us.
Indivisible seems to be the ones who created this sign because everyone holding a letter has a shirt that says Indivisible.
When it comes to the midterm elections, we want to vote no real lie.
I want to talk to the lady holding the tea. Hey, Basu. Oh, hey, how's it going? Are you guys from Indivisible?
Yes.
Yes. What brought you out here tonight?
Beach 45. Sorry?
What brought you out here tonight?
Well, we're just horrified at what Trump has been doing. I think it's destroying our democracy, destroying our national security. You know, the summit with Putin was disgraceful. If anything is treason, this is certainly treason.
Do you find yourself hoping that Trump gets better, or do you just kind of enjoy his continuous fuck-ups?
To resign. I don't think that he can be an adequate and honest president. If he were smart, he would just resign.
Well, I think probably the most important thing is his personal ego and vanity, and resigning would be a tough blow.
Well, he always does his reversals. He likes to play both sides of the street. So he can just say that this isn't fun anymore. He has so much money. He's going to go run his businesses. I would be quite happy with that.
Okay, I see. So it's like he's rejecting us, not we're rejecting him.
Yeah.
Is that the best case scenario you can think of at this point?
That's the best case scenario, if he did it quickly.
So does that mean that
quickly, then he stands, to get impeached. So the easiest way out for him is just resign now.
Does that mean that you agree with a lot of moderates that an impeachment process would really be damaging to the country and tear us apart?
Well, I think it could very well be necessary. If he doesn't just resign, it's the lesser of the two evils, because we can't tolerate the way this has been going.
So you don't want him to serve his term, and then he's probably not going to win a second one.
I want him out a lot sooner than that. This has gone on way too long.
So I saw a sign.
The damage he's been doing.
I saw a sign that talked about Mike Pence being the backup.
Yeah, I know. Some people are concerned about that, but we'll deal with that when that happens. Then we'll make sure that Pence is following the law and upholding the Constitution.
Tell me more about what Indivisible's up to.
Well, it's a nationwide, really grassroots organization. There are local groups that have sprung up. There are, I think, at least 2 in every congressional district now. We're in Herndon-Reston here in Northern Virginia. And the national organization provides some guidance, some tools that we can use, but really it's up to each of the local groups to decide.
You think you could hold tea in your other hand? I'll see you better if you do.
Sure.
Okay. Oh no! Now there's another person blocking your light. Never mind. Okay. So, what do you think about Corey Stewart being the Republican nominee for senator in Virginia?
That's appalling. I mean, I assume he'll lose. I certainly hope he'll lose. He's horrifying. He's trying to be worse than Trump.
I mean, okay, first of all, full disclosure, I know the guy. He used to be my county supervisor, and I did a movie about him when he forced this immigration law on the county that required the police to check immigration status of people who look like immigrants. Oh, okay. Secret Service. So I know the man, but let me just ask you first. It's another question, like, as a progressive, do you just sometimes laugh at the folly of nominating someone who aligned himself with the terrorists in Charlottesville?
I mean, I don't know what to say about him. I would just be amazed if anybody voted for him, but then I was amazed that people voted for Trump. So I hope that they've learned, that they've seen that they have to take it seriously. People were saying back in 2016 that what did it matter? What did they have to lose? I think they've seen what they have to lose.
You mean people who chose not to vote in 2016?
Sorry?
You mean the people who chose not to vote in 2016?
Or the people who voted for Trump. They were like, what do we have to lose? Let's take a chance. Well, we have all the things that we value to lose.
I think that choice, I think implicit in that choice is an acceptance of his racism as being okay. His racism, also sexual assault. You're basically saying those things are okay when you say let's take a chance. So, I mean, it's not as simple as, roll the dice, because I think they knew enough at that point.
I know. I mean, I think it's horrifying, and I have to wonder how much the Russian cyber warfare had to do with this, because he still didn't win the popular vote, but did he even get as close as it appears that he did? I don't know. I don't think we have that many.
Oh, you think they might have changed the votes?
I have to wonder. I mean, I just have to wonder. I don't think we have that many people in this country who are as mean and as racist as it would take to have voted for Trump.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. I mean, there were polls showing that the trends were shifting in Trump's favor in the final 10 days.
In favor of what?
There were polls showing that Trump was gaining momentum leading into the final days.
At the very end, yeah.
But okay, so about Corey Stewart. Okay, so he's actually kind of a nice guy if he's not on stage trying to please racists. he's almost, you know, like in professional wrestling. And, you know, Trump is a professional wrestling Hall of Famer. When you're trying to behave
So
like
a couple people have questions, but they
like a
need
person
anonymity.
who's trying to
I'm
divide people on
channeling,
race, it's part of the performance.
Someone who
and so
names
Corey
shall
Stewart, for whatever
be-
reason,
Actually,
he's
I don't know her
addicted
name,
to
so
the
it actually works
attention
out
and
pretty
the
well.
conflict that
Their
that creates.
question for Donald Trump, their question for Donald Trump is
some of the stuff that's said about him isn't quite
the
quite
person
fair.
on the National Security Council
but
staff who is
for whatever reason,
responsible
he's just trapped,
for
and
cybersecurity.
he can't separate himself from the Confederates, the white supremacists, and anybody that's on his team. He feels like he's got to get their backs too.
I just heard that from the
I mean, if you look at the things that Trump has done, the people that he's put in his cabinet, the people he's put in charge of agencies, they seem to be set on destroying the departments and the agencies that they're in charge of. If you look at what his immigration policy has been, I don't think you can claim that he's actually a good person at heart, because you look at all the mean, destructive things that he's been doing. So maybe he knows how to be charming in person when he wants to. I assume that's how he's gotten where he is, but at least part of how he's gotten where he is. But I think you have to look at his actions, and I think those show that he's at root.
These guys will not take
a
this
really
threat
evil
seriously
person,
until they lose.
and you also see that a lot of his actions have been to appease and align with Putin. And you just look at his actions, judge by his actions.
What's the next step for Indivisible? What are you guys going to do?
Sorry?
What's Indivisible going to be up to next? I'm impressed by your sign. It definitely is the best sign here.
We're mobilizing to register voters, to work for some of the prominent candidates who'll be running for office in November.
So you're the Herndon Reston Indivisible chapter.
All right.
Yes. It's not a chapter, really. That's just a local group that's sprung up. So that's the way all of Indivisible is.
There's no...
very grassroots.
Yeah, there's no dictum from on high?
No.
You know it.
That's cool.
So who are you with?
I'm the Young Turks. I'm with the Young Turks.
With what?
The Young Turks.
Young Turks.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Nan.
All right, Mr. President, my question is...
Nan?
Nan.
N-A-N?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you want people to be able to reach you Twitter or anything?
Well, we have Herndon Reston Indivisible has a Twitter account.
Okay, what's that?
I think it's HR_Indivisible.
Herndon Reston Indivisible, HR_Indivisible.
HR_Indivisible.
He doesn't say the
Okay,
truth.
thank you.
Okay.
But he's so transparent.
All right.
You know, when he says
I'm just going to give you one pan, and then I'm out of here.
Let's get Trump. Let's kick him out in 2020. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
She's smart people. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Eric Bowler for the Young Turks, Rebel HQ. We're at the White House where, I'd say 400 people were here earlier. They had a candlelit vigil, a series of speeches, members of Congress. And I did hear a pretty reasonable argument for no confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh until resolution of the Mueller investigation.
There were only two somewhat feasible arguments about Trump being better than Hillary Clinton from a progressive angle at the very least during the 2016 election, and they were flimsy.